Hi, everybody. This is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And I'm thrilled to have with me Tom Luongo from Gold, Guts and Guns. He is one half of my favorite YouTube political commentators and analysts and stuff like that, and finding out what is going on with the world. And we're going to be covering Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, Evergrande, the US dollar, and all sorts of stuff.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Apollo have produced the ultimate hardware wallet for your cryptocurrency assets, probably the most secure hardware wallet going. Use my affiliate link and the code for a discount. Please follow me on Twitter and join my official Telegram announcements channel. Also, please follow me on BitTube.video. You can also follow me on Odyssey. These are both censorship-resistant platforms, and every now and then I am going to post a video which isn't going to be on YouTube. Hey, Tom, thank you so much for making yourself available.
No problem, Rich. And it's a shame that Alex couldn't join us this morning, but he has
He has things to take care of, right?
He has some very, very important things to take care of. And
yes.
We wish him all the best.
Yes, this was going to be our monthly video with the three of us, and I am still trying to work out a time where Alex can be available for myself and Tom, and we can go through, who knows where the world is going to be when we do get to record, right?
I do believe that Alex has a slightly better handle on it than I do at this point, but I don't know. There's a part of me, Rich, is I was just telling you before we started recording, I'm like, this has been the hardest couple of weeks that I've had I've been doing this, professionally for about 8 years now, and personally for about 20. And this has to be one of the worst couple of weeks that I've ever had to go through. And just physically, mentally, and everything. And it's finally hit me yesterday. I could barely stand up. It was crazy. It was so bad. So, had a little drink, went to bed, got a good night's sleep, and now I woke up in a foul mood. So this is perfect.
I get it. And Bitcoin took a dump, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, and then I wake up and my crypto portfolio is down 8%. Oh,
that's right.
But I'm not surprised by that. So to get started
before we start with Bitcoin, I just want to say this. For me, there is a magic that happens when Tom and Alex are together. That doesn't take away anything from Tom. So do subscribe, because I am going to have Tom and Alex together at some point soon. And part of this video is going to be on YouTube, but because of YouTube censorship, the bulk of it, in fact, all of it is going to be on Odyssey and the BitTube censorship-resistant platforms. And I would really appreciate it if you follow me on those platforms and subscribe to me there and support censorship-free speech. All right, so let's start with cryptos took a dump. Except, by the way, I got to say, Cosmos and Atom. Cosmos, Atom, and Osmo. They've been doing really, really well. If you're a regular subscriber, you will know why.
Well, that's great. And those are cryptos I haven't even heard of. Because I spend my day watching the euro, the German Bund, the U.S. yield curve, gold, the Hang Seng at this point, yada. So let's talk about what happened last night. So actually, let's go back to 2 weeks ago. Because let's remind ourselves what happened.
We're going to look at the cryptocurrencies, right?
Yeah, this is crypto. This is absolutely crypto related. So does anybody remember what happened 2 weeks ago Monday? The U.S. markets were closed because of Labor Day. Now, there's the old adage in markets, sell in May, come back after Labor Day. And it's funny that, that morning, the markets were selling off. Or the Tuesday morning, the markets were selling off. I got a call from my partner over in the newsletter and, my good friend he just looks at me and he says, dude, New York is still New York. We can complain all we want that New York is going to be turned into a museum and they're trying to kill Wall Street and blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the matter is the guys with the white collars and the blue striped shirts spent their summers in the Hamptons learning a whole lot about crypto. And they came back to the markets on the day after Labor Day, what they always do after spending their summer in the Hamptons, and came back and looked at the structure of the markets and went, that's overpriced, that's underpriced, that's overpriced, that's overpriced, that's overpriced, and that's overpriced. And they started selling everything. And if you look all the way across the board, it's not just crypto, it's everything has been getting rebalanced in the last couple of weeks. And this is going to continue, especially with the potential for the Fed to change or to continue changing monetary policy. They already have changed monetary policy, and I'll explain that in a minute. With the ECB saying that they're going to taper QE, which I don't believe I'm a word of, by the way. We have the Dow Jones overvalued and kind of tired, and after 17 months worth of uptrend, Bitcoin was on a 7-week rally up to 50,000, couldn't break through 53, and it's collapsed. So last 2 weeks ago, no shock to see them just come back in and go, dude, Bitcoin is way over. I mean, that market is way overpriced. Let's bomb that. Let's sell that and see if we can accumulate. Because the pros, when they come back in, are always looking for opportunities. They're accumulating. Don't kid yourself. This is not a bearish thesis. This is not manipulation or anything else. This is what pros do. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of pros don't trade in Bitcoin. A lot of whales are not pro traders. Okay, but now Wall Street desperately wants access to Bitcoin. I heard something the other day. Jim Bianco, the Bianco Research, who's a guy I really respect in every way. Good Austrian economist, excellent researcher, excellent analyst. Said, FYI, on a podcast, and one of my patrons told me about this. I didn't actually see it. Said, according to Jim's research, $100 to $120 billion a month are flowing into DeFi projects.
Wow.
I'm going to say that number again. $100 to $120 billion a month globally are funneling their way into DeFi projects.
That's incredible.
Now, if that number is correct, and I'm not vouching for this, it's coming from a source I respect. But if that number is even half correct, that's an astounding amount of money. That also puts paid what I heard directly from the CNBC guy, Kevin McGuire, at Bitcoin 2021 back in June, which was that there was over $1 trillion of Wall Street money on the sidelines, family office money and the rest of it, wanting to get into crypto. But they couldn't because of ESG issues, environmental, social, and governance nonsense that Davos has put in place to stop people from getting out of the system. Because Christine Lagarde doesn't believe in exit ramps to their system, because if there are exit ramps, then quote people will use them, and we have to stop that, right? So that's what crypto represents. But at the same time, it's now in this weird place where everybody wants in, but nobody wants to pay top dollar for it. That is the right place to be, because that is the basis on which all new bull markets, and I mean real bull markets, are built, not speculative bull markets based on what we've seen in the past. Okay, levering up 1,000 to 1 on Binance and shady stuff coming out of Tether and yada, yada, yada. I'm talking about real, honest to God, structural bull markets come from numbers like that. Okay?
Okay. So let me sure I got you right. So because these large players who've come back in, Wall Street, come back in after the holidays, they've looked at the price, they say, okay, that's overpriced. Plus they want a cut of that, as represented by this figure from Jim Bianco, which we don't know if it's accurate or not, but could be, he's credible. And they want a piece of the action, that they drop the price so they can get in, and that this is the basis. I'm just saying this is what you're
This is the basis of why
a bull market.
Well, and it's the basis for a bull market after a solid correction. And then we start adding in other things. We start adding in all the other things that are happening around the world. Okay, crypto doesn't trade in a vacuum anymore. Okay, it did for a long, long time. We could just kind of analyze it independently. We had our stock flow charts. We had the halvenings. We had all this stuff, and crypto was just, because it was a bunch of unprofessional guys and whales running around doing their thing, because it was not taken seriously by professionals. Now professionals have laid all of their systems and all of their algorithms and everything else on top of the major crypto markets. And they all understand that you whip Bitcoin around, you whip everything else around, 99% of the market. Okay. It's just like gold and gold miners. Like you can have the best gold miner in the world that's got the lowest all-in sustaining cash costs in the industry. And if gold drops $50, guess what? The stock drops $1 or $2 or whatever, because their profitability has literally been destroyed. Bitcoin is the foundational asset for the entire crypto market. It's only going to become more so over the course of the next 5 years with countries like El Salvador getting on board and turning it into a reserve asset, and medium of exchange via Lightning Network. That all those things are going to come true. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not saying that it's going to win in perpetuity or anything like that. The whole world will move towards Bitcoin. I'm not Saifedean Ammous. I'm not Junseth. I'm not any of these guys. What I'm saying is that right now in this window, especially in this period of time, Bitcoin is your reserve asset. So everything else is built off of it. And everybody saying that Ethereum is going to challenge that is smoking large amounts of crack, in my personal opinion. Okay. Now I like Ethereum because I like all the money that's moving into Ethereum, or has moved in to develop based on Ethereum. I still think Ethereum is a dodgy, technologically egregious kludge. It's like Microsoft Office. It didn't stop Microsoft Office from becoming a dominant player in the world. Didn't make Windows a dominant player for a long, long time, right? The technology is not what we're arguing here. Capital flow is everything. Okay, and if anybody, and this is the thing that so many people have to get out of their heads, fundamentals don't matter. Capital flow is all that matters. The fundamentals of Ethereum are as follows. I have spoken to multiple CEOs of multiple small Ethereum projects, and they all said the same thing. All this other stuff is great, but all the brain power is in Ethereum. That's why Ethereum's where it is. That's where all the apps are being developed for. Just like OS2 is better. Linux has been better for years. Guess what? All the app development money was in Windows. It's the same situation. First mover advantage is a powerful thing. Okay? It just is. Okay? So backing up, going back to what I said earlier, if you're the pros and you see a whole bunch of, frankly, amateurs running around in the crypto space, trading markets, hey, I'm an amateur. You can fleece these people all day long of their Bitcoin, and you will, especially if you have open access to the Fed's reserve window, and you have this, and you have all the structural advantages that come from having large amounts of money at unbelievably low costs, opportunity costs to you. It's that simple. So don't get upset. I tell this to the gold guys all the time. Don't get upset about it. Incorporate it into the way you view the market. They're going to allow gold to rise when it's in their best interest to allow it to rise. They're going to allow Bitcoin to go to 225 grand because they all want in. They're not getting in here at 43 grand or 42.8 as I'm literally watching Bitcoin get shellacked while I'm doing this rant. Like, they're not getting in at 42.8 because they want it to go to 25. They're getting in at 42.8 or 43 or 45 or 33 or whatever because they want it to go to 250K. But they're going to let that happen when they've wrung every freaking last sat out of your weak-handed wallet. Okay? Because that's the way bull markets work.
Yep.
Bull markets only rise when they have no other option. And they climb a wall of worry the entire time. Should I sell here? Should I sell there? Should we go to 50? Should we go to 60? Oh my God. And this is what we do. And this is where stuff like stock to flow and all the other fundamental stuff comes into play. That's what gives you the strength to be a strong hand. Strategically. Tactically, you do what you're going to do. I don't actively trade the markets. Okay? Because I can talk about them all day long, but I can't trade them because once my emotions are on the table, once I start doing it, forget it. I'm terrible. Everything I tell everybody else to do, I don't do. I just act like the same kind of anxiety-driven, freaking noradrenaline-addicted Momo monkey like everybody else does, and I make terrible decisions. Yeah, because some people are good analysts and some people are good traders. And I got news for you: the guys on Wall Street are psychopaths and sociopaths. That makes them great traders. Okay, there's a place for psychopaths and sociopaths in the world: trading stocks and brain surgeons. Okay, and that gives them a creative outlet for their psychopathology, so they're not killing people. Now, if we can just, I'll refrain from the next comment because this is still the YouTube part of the conversation.
Tom, I completely get it because I think the people, especially the newbies, the no coiners that became new coiners in the run up to 64,000, they see this. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I can see it in my friends and my family members who've been getting into Bitcoin and stuff, and not. What people need to be here is diamond hands because it ain't going nowhere. And one thing I wanted to move into is the relationship between Bitcoin and the dollar and the rest of the economy, because we mentioned that. And on Sundays now, I'm doing Bitcoin, Cardano, and Ethereum technical analysis with a professional trader. And in both the videos so far, he draws connections with Bitcoin and the dollar. And he said on Sunday, if dollar's going to go up this week, Bitcoin will go down.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that there's two things going on. There's one thing I heard over the weekend, and I want to tie this to actually not just to the dollar. The dollar is going to rise here, and the dollar is going to rise. I just wrote a big article on my blog over at tomluongo.me about Evergrande, and I want to bring Evergrande into the mix, okay? Because I heard something over the weekend as a rumor or an observation or whatever. Again, not reality, just a fair thesis, which is we all know that Tether has been the source of a great amount of Bitcoin FUD for a long, long time. We know that Tether is not the most up and up organization in the crypto space. It could simply be that Tether grew so fast that they could not keep up with, demand for the product, yada yada yada, and trying to scramble to get reserves into the system. And was it fractionally reserved or is it fractionally reserved? And all that. I am agnostic when it comes to all the Tether FUD. I always have been. I always will be. Okay. Because there are plenty of stable coins out there now that are algorithmically based and backed by other assets, and there's plenty of ways to deal with Tether. Tether, I think, is becoming much, much less an important story within the crypto space, and good for it. But I heard over the weekend a very interesting thesis or an idea or comment, which was Evergrande, that Tether may have a lot of Evergrande's dollar-denominated bonds on its balance sheet, because most of what Tether reported to the world and to the Southern District of New York, and it's, to Letitia James, was that they hold a whole lot of commercial paper. Well, if they hold a whole lot of Evergrande dollar-denominated high-yield debt, that was all written down to zero over the weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm throwing that out there, not because I believe it's true. Okay. But it could be partially true. It could even be substantively true. It's another reason why Bitcoin is under pressure this morning.
Yeah, and it also highlights the fragility of the whole financial system.
Of course.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about Evergrande.
Okay.
In real terms.
Now, before you go on to that, right, I want to let people know we're going to continue this conversation on Odyssey, BitTube.tv, and BitTube.video. So if you're not watching on those platforms, then you'll find the whole video on those platforms. And if you are watching on those platforms, just bear with us a minute while we do this bit, all right? So, okay, Evergrande. Now, here's what I understand as under Evergrande, right? Now, remember, I'm a